All right, and we are live with Cornerstone.
Howdy, howdy.
Go ahead, Jim.
All right. So,
all right, we are live with Cornerstone. We got some background audio coming in, guys. Make sure you mute the stream if you're watching it.
Is that you, Jesse? Are you broadcasting yourself?
Right. Probably. Let me see.
So,
right, we are.
How's that? Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out soon. All right, everybody. Welcome to another Crypto Comics Creator Spotlight. We have Jesse Hansen.
Howdy, howdy. How's it going, everybody?
Also known as Cadre from Cornerstone Creative Studios.
Yep, me and my merry band of misfits.
Merry band of misfits. I like that. So let's get right into it, Cadre. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your team and kind of what you do? Because you're unique in relation to you're a creator and then a plethora of other things.
Yeah, jack of all trades, master of none. Let's see. Well, I am Jesse Hansen of Cornerstone Creative Studios. I started this studio up actually many years ago. I got the band back together, so to speak, and we've been pushing hard, working on a lot of character content, storylines, stuff like that, and creating our new universe now. And we're about ready to show the world what we can do. We have 116 members in the studio at the moment, and that fluctuates a little bit as we bring in new members, and some members leave to do whatever they're going to do. And then as far as what I do with the studio is I'm the person that crosses the T's, dots the I's, and make sure everybody has work to do. If they don't have work to do, I find something for them to do. So I work as not just the CEO of the company. I also work as the promoter of the company, the one that handles all the pre-press, post-production. I also work as an agent for all the members, which that's a full-time job in itself. As well as I also do a lot of inking, I'm penciling, coloring, whatever else is needed as far as artwork-wise is concerned. I build the website. I maintain the website. We're building a new one now. And then I go out there and network and meet people like you guys. So,
well, I now feel inferior. Thank you. I don't know that I can.
Yeah, Jared, why don't you go into what you do as CEO?
Right, dude? Obviously not much, comparatively speaking. Obviously not much. Wow, that's incredible. But
you know what? It's one of those things where it's like a labor of love, because if you work in comic industry, as many people know it, there's very few exceptions, but if you get into comics to make money, you've chosen the wrong profession. If you don't have a passion for it, now you can make money. I'm not saying you can't, but you better have a passion for it, because in the very beginning, it's always rough and it's always an uphill battle. That being said, when you have that book in your hand and you're looking through those pages and you've seen that final product, it makes you go, wow, I love this job. And and even more so when like the fans and the readers come back to you and say, hey, I got your book, blah, blah, blah. And hopefully I love it, and if they do that, then that's like, seeing a child smile at you for the first time. It's just, it makes you just glow. And that's what we do it for. We do it to entertain people. We do it to create a response, preferably positive response. And then, if we can make money doing it too, then even better, because, typically whatever money we make goes right back into the next one to try to get the same reaction or better reaction for the next issue, continuously progress and get better and better as we go on. As an art director, I tell all my studio members when they join, and we have this secret pages in Facebook. Well, we have one just for the whole group, and right at the top of it, I tell people, excuse me, Coca-Cola. Yeah. Anyway, so I tell people right off the bat, I say, there's a difference between critique and criticism. And it's up to us as artists to know the difference and how to apply it. And the way I say that is because you're going to have haters. You're going to have people that either don't like, no matter what you do, they don't like what it is, or you have what they call yes men, which we don't need either. We don't want people saying everything we do is beautiful and perfect, because then we won't grow. We'll grow content. So you want honest people. Like my fiance, I show her my stuff because she is hardcore critical, but she tells me like it is. And I show it to her and she goes, that eye is all wrong, or her boobs are too big, or, something like that. And I was looking at him going, no, it's not, because my pride's saying, get out of here. But 99% of the time, when I look back at it, about 5 minutes later, I'm going, dang it, she's right again. So those are the kind of people you need around you, though, because if you don't, and all you have is what they call yes men, then, like I said, where are you going to grow? But at the same time, if everybody's slamming you, then you get defeated. So you need that nice blend. And I tell my people, all of them, all the guys and girls in the studio, I say, you know what? Take what you can out of each critique and analyze it and actually implement those things into what you do. Because if you do that, you will continue to grow. And that's a huge, huge thing for any artist or any writer or any creative member out here in this industry. If they apply that to themselves, they will continue to get better and better. And that's what we can only hope to do.
Right. Yeah. And you have a pretty big, diverse team. I mean, yes. I know with the Showcase comic that's in the marketplace, you have quite a number of names associated to each of the different titles showcased in that. Yeah. So which ones are yes men and women, and which ones are not?
Yeah, let's call them out. What about Horowitz?
No, I'm just kidding.
What about Dixon? We want to know about Dixon.
I'll be honest with you. One of the things I love about the people I work with, and they humble me too, because some of the stuff and some of these guys and girls that I have in the studio, I'm like, oh, they're that freaking good. And some of them have gotten great exposure. Some of them have done stuff for the big boys. We've done a lot for a lot of different companies, and that's one thing we do as an art studio. We farm our talent out to other people to do their books. Meanwhile, in the background, we're creating our own universe and getting that ready. And that's
cool.
Oh, it looks like we might have a bit of a connection issue here with Cadre. Give him just 1 second. While we're waiting for him to reconnect, we will sit and browse through his book in the marketplace.
Yeah, his book, his showcase book is really awesome. I really like the way that they actually did this showcase book. They do about a 5-page intro to each story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really nice because it gives you a quick glimpse of the characters, or the character. Hey, are you back, Cadre?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, you went. We lost you for a second. We were like, quick, throw him a right flat, quick. He fell overboard.
I seen your mouth moving, but I couldn't hear anything. So I was like,
right. Well, we just
that
saw
just means you've been around Jared for more than 5 minutes.
On your face.
You asked me a question. What was it again? I'm sorry.
Well, it was in relation to your team, and then we started kind of going through your showcase book while Fry is flipping through that to kind of give people an aspect of some of these creators within your universe. We were talking about your team. And in relation, I see a lot of the names kind of double up and stuff like that. Just to give some people an understanding, we have Daniel Horowitz, Javier Lugo. Hopefully, I don't murder any of these names.
So far, so good.
Gary Mitchell, Josepe Pica, Heather and Stephen Baker, Sean Despacoul, Veronica Macy, Ian Warranty. I think it's Iwan Joko.
Yeah, Iwan Joko.
Jay Lavallee. And let's see, Anderson Lucas. William Heeman, Andy Supriano, Brandy Dixon, Mickey Clausen. Joseph Arnold, Heather Baker. You have an incredible amount of people on your team. That is so awesome. And hopefully I got to everybody. If there's anybody that you could think of that I might have forgotten, shout out to your team. Going through this showcase book, it was really incredible to see. Now, what's your guys' plan for your universe? Are you guys going to go with like an MCU type, combine it all together one day, or is it just the idea of putting out each individual title?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because of the fact that it's already one cohesive universe. Okay.
Oh.
You okay, Jared?
Done froze on us again. You there? Yeah. Give him a minute.
Yeah, sorry guys. Looks like Cadre's having some internet difficulties, which just means that you need to go out and buy more of his books so that
darn right,
him and his team can afford gigabit.
Yeah.
The world
need to
needs
up that gigabyte there, Cadre. All right, Cadre, you're back. I can see your eyes moving.
Blink 3 times if you're being held against your will.
Okay, I'm back now. I can hear you again.
Okay.
I don't know what keeps happening, but what I was saying was, all of our creators operate on the same timeline, so they just plug in where it is. We are making issues where you can read them independently. You don't have to buy like 15 books to understand what's going on, but at the same time, you will definitely know they're in the same universe. Like, for example, you'll see a character walking down the street, and you'll see on the TV in a window of another character something's happening in the news. So they're all in the same universe. Cool. And we have it set up. We do have a couple major storylines where they gather together to do something. In fact, one of the first books we're going to come out with is a Kinetic World Tour. And what that is Kinetic is our speedy guy. And he goes around the world meeting all these other heroes real quick because he's trying to save them and trying to warn them of something that's going on from an outworldly bad guy, we'll say. But and that right there would be showing all the characters real quick in one book, introducing each of them with like a page or two. And so it shows that, yes, these are all on the same, they're all on the same planet, they're all on the same storylines. It's just they're all their own individual entities as well. So to answer your question, yes and yes. So you have Kerr, who's kind of a fantasy looking character. He will be in league with them within this universe and world, right?
That's exactly what I wanted to ask. Thank you, Jared.
Yes, he is a character. He's pretty in depth because his story basically starts in the medieval times, because he was like a war priest, and then something happens, and you see where he meets a dragon in the showcase book, and they get sucked into they get put into a, let's just say we'll just, for simpler sakes, we'll call it a pocket dimension. It's not, but that's easy way without giving anything away. And then he ends up in modern time.
Okay.
And that's when, in the Cornerverse, that's our version of a universe, our Cornerverse, that's where he'll actually be involved. And then we're going to come back with another book telling the tales of Kerr from back in his medieval times. So his storyline will start off in modern day.
Cool.
And we'll go back to what made him who he was on its own title. So yeah, we've got 12 titles in.
Oh, I'm just gonna say. So you're kind of following kind of the DC model, where you're building the big story first, and then going back and building the characters up.
No, not really, because like some of our books actually start out with the origin. Just Kerr's one of those exceptions because of the fact,
okay.
We want to get him involved in the universe, but at the same time, we'll have another book if people want to read like the fantasy medieval stories and stuff like that, where it won't affect the mainstream storyline. So yeah, we got a lot going on in that area. So
I have another question. Is Destin and Striking Swan, like, are they from the same planet or a group of people, or are they different?
Their storylines originate on the same planet, yes. And then
Cool.
he rescues him and brings him, I don't want to say back to Earth, but she brings him to Earth. And then
Okay.
that's where their story goes from there. And without saying too much about the planet they came from, because that's going to be one of those major storylines, is when the individuals from that planet, which there's more to them than just they're not aliens, which is going to be the catch. That planet is not full of aliens. But
I know what it is. I got an idea.
Not human either. So that's their story. They are connected in that aspect, yes.
Oh, very cool.
But they are connected as far as the same planet, and they both had two totally different roles on that planet. So, and that storyline is pretty in depth as well. We got Alex Snee is working on the Striking Swan book, and she's a very accomplished writer. She's done some major things, so I'm excited to see what she does with that. Veronica Massey is doing the Destined title. That's her character. And right now, it's funny bring those characters up in particular, because we're working on a crossover where the two of them actually come back together. Because when they come to Earth, they get separated, and then we're already working on a story for where they reunite, and there's going to be a time lapse.
Well, looks like he cut off at the right moment, considering in chat, Terrence Hull right now just said, "Please don't spoil the book, guys."
And in that time they were.
Okay, Cadre, did you hear that? You're getting a little too close.
Yeah, you're getting too close for the chat's comfort.
You're making your creators a little nervous. We got to tone her down.
Someone just said, "Don't spoil the book," and you cut out right then. That was perfect. Real quick, I'm going to jump back in through chat, guys.
Trust me, that's not.
So let's see. Crypto Comics Joe says, "Not right. They're never too big." I think he was referencing the breast conundrum mentioned earlier.
Oh, good call, Joe. Thanks for pointing that out.
Okay.
We've got a handful of people saying hello to Cadre here, so I'm just going to kind of read off some of the names, and I'm going to butcher them, guys. But we got Terrence Hall. We got, let's see, Grandel01 on Twitch.
Cool.
Crypto Comics Matt says hello. Also mentions that he's digging the updated facial hair there, Jared. Matt Knowles on Facebook. Let's see here. We've got so many people in here. Whole bunch coming from Twitch all at the same time, guys. So again, I might have to skip over a few of them. But Steph Cannon on Facebook. Blue One himself from Twitch. What's up, Blue One? Let's see. Yeah, Travis Smith, or excuse me, Jay Travis Smith on Twitch. Yeah, just a whole bunch of people pouring out. So very cool.
That's
very
because Cadre is so popular.
No, it's just got to pay them all well. That's all.
Oh,
that works.
Hey, that's how they get me here. You know,
you get paid.
Well, I mean, right?
Well, I'm glad you called some of those people out, because like Matt Knowles and Steph Cannon, those are writers for a book that we're working on the artwork for. They do a book that we're doing for them, Tales from Nocturnia. And we got Stephen Baker, which is also in the showcase book. You'll see his name in there. He's doing the pencils on the new issue. I'm doing the inks. Our boy Brian Magnier is doing the colors. And we're excited about that. We're working on the second issue now. We did issue number 1 already with a different penciler. We brought in Stephen for this issue. Nice. And that, if you like your medieval stories and stuff like that, that is a book to check out. Tales from Nocturnia. They also have a book called Heirs from Isildur. I can never pronounce that name. And Matt will bust my chops later, I know. But
Matt Knowles in chat just jumped in real quick. He says, "Hold up, you pay us? Why have we been paying you?"
There's some misconceptions going on here, Cadre.
Yeah, you might have a bit of a mutiny on your hands. Let's probably try to stay off of that on the stream.
I was talking about my studio guys, you know. No, but they have an awesome book. If you like medieval books and stuff like that, that's one to check out. Jay Travis Smith, you mentioned him. He's one of our artists, phenomenal artist, and I'm hoping to have him working on either a Kerr book or Victor Champion book here soon. Phenomenal artist. Let's see, who else did you mention?
Well, while you're thinking about that, I was noticing the quality of your guy, just the showcases, because I could tell that the showcases were done by different artists and things like that. You can always tell in the styles and stuff. Really high quality stuff, man. Like excellent work that your team puts up. I'm really, 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 really enjoying the quality of work that you guys put out. It's fantastic.
I would add in
that. Thanks.
Yeah, you can see it in Cornerstone too. I mean, even with the lack of color on the inner pages and stuff, the amount of detail in the artwork in here is just fantastic.
Yeah.
And also to
bringing
point
up
out
Cornerstone 2, what's up with that last story in Cornerstone 2? I got to know this craziness that is like just insanity. What is that all about, Cadre?
I'm talking about the Who Would Care story.
Yeah, Who Would Care?
That was written, drawn, lettered, everything by one person, Monty Stickman, another phenomenal creator. He's also on our board of directors. He's one of my longtime guys. He was a member of Cadre Corner back when we had that store, that studio. And when I reformed, he was one of the first people I contacted. And I was blessed and humbled that he jumped back on board. He does the book Century. He does a Century story, showcase book now. And he's one of those jack of all trades. He does everything. He writes it, he pencils it, he colors it, everything. And when he did the Who Would Care story, that's actually a book. That story, I'm actually printing it twice. It's so good. Not only is it already in Cornerstone 2, but I'm doing another book called Cornerstone Comeback. And what that is, it's an anthology. It's continuing the storylines that was in Cornerstone number 1 and 2. And it goes into the third installment. It's called Cornerstone Comeback. We're going to finish up what we started years ago with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, meanwhile, we're working on the new revamped, innovative aspect we're going now. But yeah, that storyline, it makes you think, because people go,
it was dark. I'm looking through all this bright stuff. It seems, for the most part, like, hero here. All of a sudden, I fall on this super dark story, and I'm just like, where did this come from? This is awesome.
The thing I loved about that story, and I love what Monty brings to the table, is the fact that, he can write in a very creative way, and he's very lighthearted. I mean, if you ever get a chance to talk to the guy, he has his own podcast as well. But if you talk to the guy, he's such a friendly, naturally just relaxed kind of guy, but he's very in depth. He has a lot to explore, and that's what I look for in our writers, are people that are more than just what's on the surface. I want to know what's down deep, and he puts that on paper very well. And I'll be honest with you, he was a big part of us starting up the Cornerverse. It was back, I had something that happened to us, and it was a fallout with, starting another business, blah, blah, blah. I won't get into that because I don't want to depress myself. But when we started up the Cornerverse, he was a big integral part of that. I said, Jesse, let's just create our own universe and get this stuff out. I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. We've been talking about it for years. Let's do it for ourselves now. We've worked for Marvel. We've worked for DC. We've worked for all these companies. And we've done work for everybody. Let's do something for ourselves, something that, our own legacy. One of our writers does a lot of plugging out there for us, Ryan Tyler Palmer. He has a few stories in the showcase book, and has some of his own creations in there. And he puts on his hashtag a lot, CCS Legacy, because that's what we want. We want something that, we pass down to our kids and say, hey, this is what your old man or this is what your old lady did back when, we were, well, most of us are still young. I'm already old. But, and we want to be able to do that. And he was a big part of that, and I can't thank him enough. So here I am publicly saying, thanks, Monty. He kicked me in the butt and got my gear going. So I was excited.
Monty, you rock, dude. You rock. And I want to kind of get into this because you had the Cadre Corner, and that was the original studio, right?
Right. That was the original incarnation of.
Now, which studio got almost in a brawl with Jay?
You know that
That's
story.
Jay and Silent Bob for anybody who's wondering.
Yeah, there's an incident that happened years ago. I mean, way years ago. It's back when I was working on a book called Bubba the Redneck Werewolf. And that was written and created by Mitch Hyman. Phenomenal book. It's funny as can be. I worked on 3 issues of that book when I first got into the industry. You're talking back in 2006, 5. And then we were at a show in Chicago, and we were all hanging out. It wasn't really our studio. It was just me, a couple of members from the studio, and then we had a couple of the people that hung out with the other crew. And one of the females that was with our group is another phenomenal artist, Taki Soma. And Jay was messing with her pretty hardcore. And me and some of the Bubba guys were like, dude, you need to just back it up, because it wasn't cool, you know, when somebody's drunk and they're hitting on a girl and won't let up. So, you know, we look after our own, you know, we look after our family. Yep. And at that moment in time, guess what? She was family because she was with us. And
right on.
Something about happened, and then he had his big old bodyguard step up, and so we didn't want to go there, you know. And me and Kevin, you know, Kevin Smith is one of the good guys in comics, and I love the guy. Yeah, and he represents us, you know, as well. And
really?
Well, he doesn't represent. He's not part of the studio, but he backs us up. You know, he shows support for what we do. And so I can't say enough good things about him. That was the only actually encounter I've ever even had with Jay. Or Jason.
Well, I mean, Jay and Silent Bob are kind of heroes of mine. I mean, you know, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I'm just a huge fan of those movies and stuff. So, I mean, even to be in an altercation with Jay would be kind of awesome for me, just because I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in an altercation with Jay. You know, I'd be all like fangirling like crazy.
Well, here's a cool thing about when I got in the industry. You know, I started out as a background anchor. I got to do, you know, Austin Janowski, which is also a member of our studio. He gave me my first break with Mitch Hyman on Bubba. You know, Austin was doing a book for another company, and he needs somebody to help with his deadline. He says, tell you what, I'll give you a shot. You do the background stuff. Let me handle the characters. So basically, I get all the grunt work, and he gets all the fun stuff. But you know what? I was like, hey, cool. Here's my foot in the door. And I jumped on that. And from that point on, you know, we just kept going and going. And after that, me and my brother, we used to do all the shows together. He'd always go with me. You know, he's not in the industry or nothing like that. He was just a fan. And, you know, like brothers do, they support, you know, each other. And he always had this really cool van. And he had like neon lights and the booming stereo system and all that. Had all the captain's chairs and everything. So when we go to shows, you know, we'd have a lot of celebrities and stuff, like the guy that played the original, he was on Buck Rogers, played the little robot dude.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. It's been so many years. But I forgot his name. But the little guy that played that, phenomenal guy. But him and a bunch of the other celebrities would be like, hey, we're going to ride with Cadre's crew, you know, because they wanted to ride in style, you know. They didn't want to catch a cab and all that. So that was awesome. So, and I think you and I talked about it offline, but back when we did Cadre Corner Studios, we had a different logo. We had a logo that was actually a street sign. Right. And it said Cadre Corner. Well, one of our guys, Jared Brown, he does like him and Chris Leslie, another member we had, and a longtime friend. Jared had built this actual prop. He does like stuff for Universal Studios and stuff like that. And he built an actual street sign made out of a big, huge PVC pipe and boards that slid in. So we could actually assemble it right there at the show. We had a carrying bag and everything. And we put it together. It was good, 8 to 10 feet tall. Okay.
That's
and
awesome.
It was stable as could be because the base was like double layered, 2-inch thick plywood, right? So it wasn't going anywhere. But when we did the convention centers would always make us on a corner, which worked out perfectly. You know, Cadre Corner, we were on the corner, we had a street sign. So they would tell people, say, go down there, make a left at the Cadre Corner, and you'll see the guy on the right or whatever, right? So that worked out beautifully for us. And we used to have people take like photo opportunities in front of the sign with the studio members.
Wow.
And we always had like 8 to 10 of us always at every show. So when Cadre Corner was going to a show, we made it happen. We made a spectacle of it. And I always had great experiences with the other creators and other celebrities, though. That was the only down incident I think I can recall of. Because I'm a Kentucky hillbilly. You know, you don't get much more laid back than that.
Except for maybe an Idahoan hillbilly.
Yeah, but you know, sleeping's different. Now, it's funny because when I worked on the Bubba book, Mitch is what you call a Jewish redneck. I'll let you process that for a moment, okay? Funny guy, very creative, and he was living in Sanford at the time. And I was up here in St. Augustine at the time, in Daytona now. But it would be funny because you had Chris Leslie was on the book with us. He's from Arkansas, so he's an Arkansas hillbilly. You had me, I'm a hillbilly, and you had Mitch, who's a redneck. And so it's an interesting tandem, right? So we do all these shows together, and I'd ask people, I said, you know the difference between a redneck and a hillbilly?
I was actually wondering because I was starting to think I might be a redneck instead of a hillbilly.
Okay. The difference between a redneck and a hillbilly, I always told everybody, I said, is rednecks like to start fights, hillbillies finish them.
Oh, I'm definitely a hillbilly. Definitely. Right, Fry? Like, we're hillbillies, right? No, we're not. We're not hillbilly. What are we?
I don't know. I guess it depends on who you would ask, right?
Well, I like your interpretation of the redneck and the hillbilly. I mean, I kind of would like to claim both. Since we're in Idaho, we probably can. We're redneck hillbillies.
Yeah, we could be both.
There you go. I'm back. I don't know what keeps doing. So you didn't even get my punchline, did you? No,
well, we understand that you finish it. Like, we understand that. I mean, I've seen. I started working with you, and I've done nothing but trying to keep up with you. It's like insane, your drive, man. It is inspirational.
No, actually, I've slowed down a lot. To be honest.
Well, that makes me feel really horrible.
Well, the reason I say that is because it used to be I was at every convention known to man. I mean, we did Chicago, Philly, Texas, New York. We did Carolina, and then of course the
one right after the other.
Yeah, it was basically like a tour. You know, like people do the convention circuit. That was us. But as I've gotten older, and after I took my break, you know, I'm a dad now, so my family time's more important than anything. Mm-hmm. So I have to break up my time accordingly. And if you work in the comic industry, you learn real fast. There isn't much time to work if you have anything else in your life, because there's deadlines nonstop, you know. So it's a lot to regulate, but it's worth it. You know, it really is. I mean, there's nothing like being a dad. So pure and simple.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's because of people like you. I'm pretty new, and I consider myself a complete newbie. I'm that guy that has all the red dots on him, you know, in Call of Duty or something like that. I'm the newbie, and it's incredible. It's incredible just how much drive creators in this industry have, you know, because you're right. You ain't making money in this industry. Not right now, anyways. I mean, not until we make a significant change to the way that the money is handled in the industry. You know,
and even then, it's still tough because you have the overhead, you have the production costs, not to mention the art teams. Because like to pay a full art team can run you between $2,000 to $5,000 for one book, and that's if you're not paying some like a major artist big money, which would cost that just for a couple of pages. Some of the big names in the industry make hundreds of dollars per page, you know, and that's one of the things as an agent for my studio is my goal is to get the client the best quality they can get for their budget. Because we have guys in the industry in our studio, like Paris Collins and stuff, they've been in the industry for years. For those that aren't familiar, Paris Collins is one of the longtime legends in the industry, where he created like Blue Devil. He worked on Blue Beetle back in the 90s and 80s.
Oh wow!
You know, so he's one of our guys that's been with us, and I've got studio members that are just getting involved in the industry, but are phenomenally talented. So I can get them gigs all day because the price rate is manageable, but the quality level is top tier. I mean, I can be honest with you, and I hope we can show that when we start doing the showcase book more and more, and as we progress with the titles, is the talent that we have in the studio it really is mind-boggling. Take me out of the equation whatsoever, because if anything, I drop that curve down. But these guys are phenomenal, and the fact that they haven't been picked up already by the big leagues, I'll take advantage of that every day, because I am humbled to have been part of us, and I let them know it too. You know, if you know, I believe that if you don't appreciate the blessings that God has given you, then you can't ask for more blessings. You don't have the right to ask for more. You know, so I appreciate everything that's ever come my way, as far as, you know, people donating their time, their services, their advice, anything like that. I appreciate all of it. And when it comes to the talent side of it, I'm a sponge. So I learn from all these guys the best I can, because I feel you have to be. In order for you to grow and become better, you better absorb everything that people that are better than you can give you, you know, and that's a lot of people. You know, with 116 members, there's a lot to absorb. And I am humbled every day when I see one of them put a new book out or they're promoting something. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. And that's what I want for them. I want them to support their families, get paid, while at the same time be professional, represent when and where they can, and continue to create. That's our goal as a studio. That's my goal for all my studio members, which I call them all family. And I hope that every single one of them know that anytime they want to chat, anytime they want to get a hold of me, I am easy to get a hold of. So that's my goal as far as the studio is concerned. You know,
that's an excellent goal, and you really do represent well. I mean, just seeing the quality that I saw in your showcase books in the marketplace, it really did show that you do have an excellent caliber of people that you're working with. Who are your people of inspiration? You know, who kind of inspires you and motivates you
as an artist, or just in general?
As an artist, yeah, probably as well. You're kind of a unique person because you're not just an artist. You're an artist, agent, publisher. You know, you're so many facets. So really, like, I'm looking more of an overview question, because I think there's different facets to inspiration, and it can come from a multitude of different places. So I'm really interested to just understand more along the lines of what drives you, and who has motivated you through time.
I know this may seem a little bit totally obscure, but to be perfectly honest, my drive, determination, and inspiration all come from my faith. I believe that if you do the right thing, you have the right goals in mind, and your heart is in the right place, then as long as you work hard and are diligent, everything else will fall into place.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that is my driving force. Other than my faith in God and Jesus, the secondary to that is, and some people are probably going to fight with me on this one, my secondary is family. Like I said earlier, I want to create a legacy that my son can look up to years later and say, yeah, that was my dad, you know, or something like along those lines. And it has nothing to do with pride. I mean, because I don't believe you should be proud of what you do, yes, but I don't think you should be prideful of what you do, you know, and there's a difference. And so I hope to inspire as well as be inspired, you know. That's what I hope to do. So like nowadays, when I say I'm nowhere near as active or as pushed as hard as I used to, I'm not out there doing the convention circuit like I used to. So now what I do is I work harder behind the scenes, because I mean, look at this. This is not what you want to be, the face of your company. So
look at us.
Yeah, have you seen who you're talking to, man? Come on. Oh my
gosh. That's
the
best part of this industry.
Great.
I mean, and if you look at that showcase book, you'll notice there's a name that's not on any of those credits lists in that table of contents. That's mine, because I want my guys and girls to get out there. I want them to do what they do best. And if that means that I step back and let them do what they got to do, and then kind of just push the envelope to where it needs to go, then that's what I'll do. Now, some of those credits have changed too, because like some of the members we've shuffled around when the new books come out. We're going to have new creative teams on a few of them. We got a few new titles already in the works since that book came out. And then I'll also be inking 2 of those stories that's in that book right now. And I'll be doing the finishing pencils on one of the stories that's in that book right now. But that's a matter of, okay, we've sat around and we've done all this work. We've been in talks with some investors, but it's time we start actually getting the ball going. And hopefully, I would like to declare today with this interview, this spotlight that y'all have blessed me with, as the beginning of the Cornerstone Revolution. This is today. It's going to mark the day where we actually get this ball rolling and show people that we're going to create a new way to entertain people. Our goal is to do it with a new type of storytelling and break a lot of the barriers that have been set up. And it's not a matter of who's right, who's wrong. It's not a matter of fighting over political views. It's not a matter of fighting over religious views. It's a matter of entertaining the fans, making them smile, no matter what it is. So, people ask me all the time, and I'm not going to get into this topic because that's a whole nother hour discussion, but it's not a matter of what side are you on. There is no side. There's just a matter of doing what's right and doing what's wrong and focusing on entertaining the fans. And that's what we want to do. We want to focus with them, give a morally upstanding content while at the same time having fun. If you can't have fun doing comics, then you're in the wrong industry and you got the wrong mindset. There's a reason that comics back in the day were called funny books, because it would lighten your heart. It'd make you fun. It was fun. It was something that you wanted to go down to your local drugstore. I know they don't sell them there anymore, but back in the day, you go down to the local drugstore, buy your comic book off the rack, and go home and enjoy it.
Right.
A lot of that's gone. A lot of that has been so beaten to death with all the different views and all the different, just crap, for a better choice word. That we want to bring that back. We want to bring it back to it's fun to reading comics, but at the same time, you don't have to worry about, is somebody going to get a butthurt over what they just read, And that's what we're hoping to do. We're hoping to really set the tone, and we got some big things in the plans where, we got some projects that I can't get into right now that I'll talk to you a little bit offline about it.
You hear that? We're getting the spoiler alert, people. Suckers!
But there's things that we're doing that's going to help the kids for the future, and not just visually and reading, but physically as well. Using our content, using our characters, where they actually, I'll put this out there. The children will be able to be interacting with our characters in different ways.
That's so awesome. The concept is a little crazy.
Right now, we've got about 8 minutes left to the top of the hour, so I want to make sure that we're doing our jobs and to help people find where they can get everything.
Yes.
So obviously,
great.
Crypto Comics, because I want to feed my kids.
So let's make sure that people understand. So right now, Cadre is promoting a campaign. Anyone can go in under cryptocomics.com/u/Cadre and be able to sign up into the marketplace. Again, right now we're in beta, but we're looking for friends, family, fans, teammates, coworkers, and people to come in and help us with this marketplace. And by signing up and joining the marketplace through Cadre, you actually benefit Cadre, which is pretty awesome. And that's one of the things about this marketplace. If you have any questions, just check out our homepage, and it explains the Comic Bucks program. One of the ways we feel we're going to really make a difference in this industry for creators to actually make a living, a good living, so that they can keep creating this fantastic content that we get to enjoy. Also, Fry, where other places can they actually buy stuff from Cornerstone Studios?
Yeah, so let's see here. We've got cornerstonecreativestudios.com. There's a link in the chat right there for everybody. So make sure you go there. He's got all of his social media links. Make sure you follow along. These guys, for obviously, if you've been listening, are doing a ton of stuff. So this would be a really good one to follow up on.
Kind of awesome stuff.
We've got Jesse himself here on Instagram. That's going to be instagram.com/Cornerstone Cadre. Link for that is in there as well. Looks like we've got some sketches. We've got a picture of him with an Uncle Sam hat on. This is good stuff right here.
They also do prints. If I'm not mistaken, you guys do prints, which is fantastic.
We actually have a physical shop where we sell prints, and I do sketches live and stuff like that. It's like we brought a little convention to local flea markets, basically what it is.
Oh, and, nice.
Yeah.
Right on. That's fantastic.
Somewhere I can actually interact with I don't want to say I want to say supporters, interact with supporters and stuff like that one-on-one all the time. You don't have to wait till the next show. They can come see me anytime.
And then is Tales of Nocturnia, you're working on that as well?
Yes, I'm working on 5 different titles right now. I'm working on Tales from Nocturnia #2 from Insymmetry Productions with Matt Knowles and Steph Cannon. I am working on a book called Chess. Working on issue #3 of that. That's by Alfred Page. Our studio is doing that. Our studio is doing, including me, we're working on 2 titles for Voyage Publications. That's Joan of Arc #2. We also did #1, which to me came out phenomenal. So I'm excited about #2. We're working on the pencils and inks of that right now. Working on Jonah's voyage to the city of Atlantis for them as well. I'm also working. I just wrapped up a book called Amavian Chronicles for Andre Owens. And what else am I working on? I'm probably forgetting somebody.
It sounds like, what aren't you working on?
Yeah, seriously. I know you're doing some hush stuff for Tidal Wave Comics.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, that is part of the political powers stuff that they do. Is what we're doing. So yeah,
wow.
that's going to be really good. I'm excited about that. Yeah, I mean, that's just a few of the things that I'm working on. Not counting the commissions and stuff that I'm way behind on because I'm doing the deadlines. And that's one thing a lot of people don't understand is, when you're working for a book, guess what? You got to meet a deadline. I don't care what it is. That has to be met. So, so that's just some of the books I'm working on right now. And
well, I just wanted to say, before we run out of time, I just wanted to make sure that I got to say this. I think it's so awesome that you guys are so focused on the fans. I think a lot of publishers and places like that, they don't pay attention to the fans enough. That was a big thing with us when we were getting started, was really paying attention to the fans and the creators and understanding, and we're still are. That's why we're still in beta. But I just think my hat's off to you guys, man, for really kind of centering in on that and making that a part of your goals. Just fantastic, man. Fantastic.
If it wasn't for the fans and the supporters, we wouldn't be here.
Darn right. Exactly.
We'd be at home drawing characters from nothing. I mean, you know how many shows I've been to where that's all we did all day was draw characters for nothing because it's so small.
Mm-hmm.
But we did it because we love it. And those few people that did come to those little shows, guess what? They enjoyed it, and that's made it all worthwhile. Yeah, it's all about the fans. It really is. And if you can be positive and supportive and encouraging, inspiring, if you can do all that at the same time, please. There's no other job like it. There really isn't.
That's true. There's no other fan base like it either, man. The fans of this industry are phenomenal.
They are.
Now, one last thing. Sorry, we've only got about a minute left in the stream here, so I'm going to say 2 last things.
Oh.
Kind of.
You only got a minute, Fry.
First person that uses the link that's been posted in the chat for Crypto Comics to go and sign up underneath him, I'm going to send this shirt to. So,
right on.
The shirt that you guys see on the screen, first person that signs up, I'm watching it. I will be in contact with you directly here in a few hours. And if you're the winner, we'll get you a shirt sent out.
Yeah, so an awesome shirt sent out because I got to see the proof. And I was like, I get one.
The shirt's pretty sweet, actually. It's gonna be pretty cool. Features a lot of the characters, so
Yeah.
that's a dope one.
Yeah.
I like
I'm
it.
digging it. I'm digging it.
And
Well, hey!
secondary to that,
Oh, sorry.
because this one's getting cut kind of short, I want to do another one. So I
What?
want to have you
Are
on
sure,
stream.
Cadre, could you possibly find the time to talk to two cronies like us again?
I don't know.
I mean, not to mention, I only got to like 2 of my questions, and we didn't even like. There's so many things we could actually like talk about.
If the viewers want it, I would be honored. I mean, I'd be more than honored to do so.
All right.
Well,
What do you
right
say,
on.
chat? Do we have him
You can
back?
see already. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I'll do it again. As you can see, you get me talking on a soapbox, can't shut me up. So.
All right. Well, what about you and your
it's
team?
okay, man. It makes me feel good that I'm not the only one, you know?
Right.
How about we do it with you and your team?
Oh,
I can get some of my crews together. I mean, like,
dude,
I'm
that
gonna
would
make
be.
it happen.
I don't know if I can make a stream work with 150 people, to be clear, chat. So
No, we can't do 150. But we have done what, 12, 15 before?
16 creators, yeah.
16? That was pretty intense.
Let me
It
see
was
what I
pretty
can do.
fun, though.
I would definitely love to get certain members in there, like there's members that we didn't even tap into that play a big part in my studio. You know, like Daniel Horowitz. He's my creative director. He's the guy that I bounce off ideas of all the time. We have a board of trustees as well. You know, so those guys.
Oh, looks like we might have lost audio again.
Cadre done decided not to even finish, but I'll finish for him. He's got a board of bad A's that actually are a bunch of awesome people.
Are members. They're active. They promote. I can hear you now. I didn't hear any of that.
I was just filling in for you while you were checking out.
There's a lot of members that have to get involved.
Well, we're gonna extend that invitation.
No, but I said I'd love to do it.
Yeah, awesome. That is fantastic to hear. That is a great idea, Fry. I freaking love it, man. Cornerstone Creative Studios, people, please go out, buy their comics, check out their stuff, support them. They are awesome. They are doing it. They are grinding it out. They are making it happen. Booyah! Oh, that's awesome, man.
Nice.
Dad, you are as smart as Iron Man, as strong as Hulk, as fast as Superman, as brave as Batman, and as cool as Spider-Man. You are my favorite superhero. You're the world's best dad. Oh, I love that shirt, dude.
I just got to add in that Matt Knowles says, hey, man, Steph and I would be more than happy to join you next time, big dog. Not inviting ourselves or anything. We also have connections better than 14.4 modem like Jesse Hansen. And what's funny is that Matt and Steph were on our list to meet at MegaCon this year before it got canceled.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
So now you have another connection right there. Bam.
Dude, Matt and Steph, we look forward to it, y'all.
I've been following those guys on social media for a minute. They're good people. Definitely good people.
Oh, that's fantastic.
They really are. And you want to talk about hardworking? Those two are some of the hardest working people in the industry that I've come across, to be honest. They really are. And I'm not just blowing smoke up their butts. You see it.
I will.
Once they promote. They fly. They fly across country and everything else all the time.
Nice.
But
okay. He'll fangirl hard.
I had to show the shirt though because that was my Father's Day gift from my son. So
you tell him he's a stud.
Yes,
I love it. Hey, so we got a bolt because I'm making Fry late. Yeah. Fry, thank you for everything and holding in on there for us. Cadre, you are the man. Thank you so much. We look forward to talking to you again. Everybody, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check out Cornerstone Creative Studios, and let's keep this ball rolling. Let's make these creators get paid so they can keep making us awesome comics to read, okay?
If you want any inside scoops or any kind of links or anything, definitely contact me on Facebook. I'm on there all the time. Jesse Hansen Art, and I'll hook you up. Anybody?
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, everybody. See you again soon.
Peace out.